here we are, family. It is a Friday night leading into Shabbat. But first things first, before we get started, you know how we do. Warning: federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, parodies, which doesn't infringe on the copyright under 17 USC 107. And of course, you know that we don't make fun of anyone, but we do want to say that we need to, family, keep our heads down and our hands up, always praying to the Most High. Men ought always to pray, singing to themselves in songs and spiritual songs. That's out of Ephesians. I was just sharing that with someone the other night. And it is something that every time I find myself getting into a confrontation with someone, I just start singing to myself and move on out of the way, remove myself from the situation. So we ought always to pray, because we're going to always be tempted. Our adversary is ramping it up at these last days, and anything that he can do to get us off of our game plan and get us out of the stance in which we need to be in, which is always staying prayerful and allowing the Most High to fight our battles, because the battle is not ours. That's the only way that we're going to be able to move through this. And then also, we need to make sure that we search these scriptures daily. Daily, we need to search these scriptures and keep our head in the book. This is how we gird ourselves with the full armor of the Most High and protect ourselves from the fiery darts that the enemy is throwing at us. So I want to say, how are you? What's going on, family? How are you? How are you? How are you? Again, like I said, it is a Friday. No, I'm sorry. I'm so used to it being a Friday, but it's a Thursday evening, leading into Friday, which is tomorrow is our Shabbat. Friday the 16th. Tomorrow is our Shabbat according to the new moon. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to throw that up on the screen, because there's going to be a lot of people who think that there's people who they follow the Roman Greco calendar. They go from Sunday to Saturday, and our calendar is not dictated or predicated on days of the week. It's following the moon. When the first sliver of the new moon is seen, if it's high in the sky, and if it's high in the sky and it's daytime, you have to wait for sundown. So if you see the sliver during the daytime, you wait for sundown. That puts the new moon on the following day, which would be day one. If it's at night when you see it, then that's the first night. That's your new moon, and then you start counting from the next night over. So the daytime, if it's seen, it falls the following day. So now we have our new moon on Friday, and it's not on what is commonly called Saturday. And as a matter of fact, I do have that graphic. Let me grab that graphic real quick. Let me see if I can grab that graphic for you real fast. Okay, I may not be able to get my hands on it right away, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot before we move further into this. Let's see if we can give it a shot and get our hands on it. So it's over here. And ooh, let's just pass it up. There it is. Let me bring it over. Okay, so this is it. And the Moedim, the holy days, as you can see. Now this is the schedule for religious. I gave this to my HR department so that they could see. And the cycle of the holy days may occur on or after this date. So the new moon day was in the week of 7/28 through 8/3. Okay, which gave us the religious holy day off 8/2, 8/9, 8/16, 8/23, 8/30, and 8/31. So we'll be looking for the new moon 8/31. because that's going to set up the next month. So that shows us that on the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, the 30th are the Shabbats. Okay. So I don't know, who you study with, whoever you study with, or however you reckon the calendar, but it is by the first sliver of the moon. I have heard this and seen this on many different occasions. I didn't understand it at first. It's something that you have to continue to work on to wrap your head around, and you have to deal with the Most High so He can show you, really where you are, because we're not on a Roman Greco calendar. We don't go from Sunday to Saturday, if you want to reckon first day, because we don't get Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Those are names of gods. We talked about this before. We get day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 1 doesn't necessarily have to be first day of the week, so-called Roman Greco. If our calendars, you look at the Hebrew calendar, or what is commonly called the Jewish calendar, you see that it's off by a few months. So when the Jewish calendar starts really in March, the Roman Greco calendar starts in January, in the dead of winter when everything is dead. So you're off by a few months, and your growing season is off, and everything else is off. So you have to reckon it that way and look at it that way, and then come back to what the scriptures tell us to do, and so many of us we've been in churchianity for so long, we'll find a way to sandwich that thing in there and make a nice little sandwich out of it and just keep going with it. And it's okay. It's not an argument type of thing and nothing to be debated. If you're not there yet, you're just not there yet. Hopefully, I hope you get there before the Most High returns, because He's going to be dealing with you when you've got the scriptures and you can see the moons, right? The luminaries weren't even made until the 4th day, so there was no lights in the sky. There was no stars. There was no sun, no moon. Until the Father was creating before He said, "Let there be light." So you have to go by the moon and the stars and the luminaries. That's what He gave us them for signs and for seasons and for days, and we have to use them as such. Anyway, for those of us who are into it this way, tomorrow is our Shabbat, and so it's a Thursday night for me. Now it's 10:02. Thursday night, and I normally don't get in here and go this late unless I want to do like an all-nighter or something, but I had some different things go on this week, and it's caused me to go into thought and deeper thought, and think about some things and look at some things. My family, we lost a cousin, my second cousin, my mother's first cousin, Monday, and here it is Thursday, and I'm just now finding out about it. Okay, because that's how my family is. They are tardy as all get out. I didn't find out my father was dead until after my father was dead. Okay, I didn't see, it wasn't like, oh, daddy is sick. It wasn't that at all. It was like, oh, daddy's dead. We better not tell him. We don't know how he's going to react. We better not tell him. And they didn't. And so when I found out, it was because, loose lips sink ships. And so when I found out, it was because, somebody's a bucket full of holes and they can't hold water, and they let it slip. And I said, so you weren't going to tell me that my father died? But we didn't think you wanted to know. You don't get to think that. That's not yours to think. Because my father didn't raise me, we didn't think you wanted to know. That's not yours to think. You don't get to do that. So anyway, that's the kind of family, right? So now I have to go tomorrow and tell mama that her first cousin is dead because the family, failed to let me know. So I can almost guarantee you, dollars to donuts, that people will fly out from where they are and go to that cousin's funeral and won't come here to see their mother. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Anyway, that's just how I feel about it, because I can tell you that's probably going to happen. And I think it's horrible, personally, that you won't take care of business the right way. I'm really struggling to be nice about this one. So anyway, I had another acquaintance of mine, a young lady that I've been speaking to lately, say to me, well, let me say it this way. I lost track of her for a few months, I guess. And a couple of nights ago, she popped up like toast. And I was like, oh, wow. Man, I thought you fell off. Are you okay? Is everything all right? And then she started to explain to me some of the things that she's been going through here lately, one of which is the loss of her brother. And so that caused me to think, I'm like, we are really, Israel, we're really under attack right now. If you don't see it, if you can't put your finger on it and look, we are seriously, that's how I know the time is wrapping up. Because Revelation 12 says that the dragon is going to war with the saints. But as the Messiah was telling the disciples, he was like, look, these are just the beginnings of the sorrows. This is not even it yet. This is just the beginnings of it. And so by looking at it in that particular sense, these are just the beginnings of it. We haven't even touched it yet. We have gotten nowhere near it yet, but these are just the beginnings of it. And if this is just the beginnings of it, and we're being, rocked and shook by just the beginnings, just imagine when it really goes full swing, how the nation is going to be rocked and shook. Seriously rocked and shook. So that's kind of something that I wanted to go into tonight, because we have to make sure that that we're clean when the Mashiach comes for us. We have to make sure that our houses are in order, or we're attempting to put our houses in order. See, he's going to teach us everything that we have not been taught or had forgotten as a people, because we've been in this captivity for so long. We've been doing things the way of the daughter of Babylon for so long. I had a person tell me today, this thing that, now this is someone who's been watching me for the last, say, 3-4 years, that I've been strolling on this path to Zion. I've been on the path a little longer than that, but this person's been watching me that long, ever since I divulged to them who I was. Okay. And then this person's been watching me, ever since. And so she said to me today at work, I find out the most interesting things from you. And I never thought that she said, things I never paid attention to jump out at me now because of you. You point out so many different things, and they're super interesting, and I never would have thought about it that way, or any of it that way, because she's watching this walk. She's been watching this walk since after I came unglued out on my front porch and found out who I was. In the next 6 to 9 months, somewhere in there, I did Mama's DNA. So it was in the first year that I found out I did my DNA, and from my DNA, because I have the Y chromosome, I was able to pull Mama's DNA and pull Dad's DNA, and I started because of Dad's DNA. We couldn't get past; he wouldn't tell us anything. So I did the DNA to get past him, to get behind that wall, because I couldn't get beyond that wall. Mama was okay because I've got plenty of family that's still living. That's whittling down quickly here now, but there's plenty of family still living that I can get the story from, But on Dad's side, it was just a brick wall. Getting past him was the issue. He wouldn't say anything to anybody. So when he died, I was at a loss. I'm like, okay, so he's dead now. What do I do? So then, in contemplation and meditation and dealing with the Most High, I said, okay, I'm gonna do this DNA and get past that wall. Then I sat with Mom right here, and we went over the DNA, and she argued about her DNA. And I said, okay, that's fine. I said, but listen, I paid X amount of dollars to get this done. You pay X amount of dollars and do yours, and then we'll sit here and compare reports. So she got up and she toddled away, kind of mad, But I was just being honest. I'm like, look, I paid money, and I'm half you and half him. This is what the report says. I can't argue with that. You can say whatever you want to say, but this is your blood pumping through my veins, and that's the results. So if you want to refute the results, then spend some money, get your own report, and let's sit here and compare reports. I'm open with that. So she didn't want to do that. So anyway, once I realized what was going on and who we were, I had said to some people that you guys might find that things will change. My name may even change. My walk is going to change. My talk is going to change. My clothing and my dress may even change. But don't be alarmed, because it's just me in my period of discovery. And as I'm in my period of discovery, things are going to change. So things are going to change. Just like, let me see if I can reach this. I should be able to. Hold on. So just like I've been doing this research, and you would be amazed at how many products we use that are swine based. Okay, we're told we're supposed to stay away from the swine, and that it's an abomination to the Father, and we're not supposed to be having anything to do with the swine, right? Well, these individuals, and there's a spirit behind this. Okay, there's a spirit behind this, and this spirit wants to eradicate us and take us out as quickly and as efficiently as it possibly can. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and here's what I see. I see this. Your skin is your biggest organ on your body, right? So if you can't ingest the pork, then how about we just get you to smear it all over your body and let it soak into your pores? Do you know that you do that? Are you aware that you do that? Because the soap that we use is based around animal tallow, and which is animal fat. But when you dig, see, they'll tell you that it's animal tallow. Oh, it's animal tallow. Okay, animal tallow. You walk past that until you realize that the animal tallow is actually animal fat. And then you say, oh, it's just animal fat. It's no biggie. It's just animal fat. But then you have to dig into, well, what animal did they use? Or are they using? And as you dig down further, because it's like opening up folders and subfolders and subfolders, and so you dig down further, you find out that it's swine fat, pig fat, lard, L-A-R-D, in your soap. Okay, and since I know that a lot of people don't believe that, I think I still have the website up. Let me see if I can find that website real quick. Okay, so here's the page. Using this software, trying to figure this thing out. Okay, so here's the page. This is from Elia.com, unclean ingredients, HTML. Avoiding unclean ingredients in commercial products. Now, this was last updated January 23rd, 2018. Searching through the ingredient label of various foods for evidence of unclean organisms can be a time-consuming process. Thankfully, some companies are willing to increase their sales by adding kosher symbols to their packaging. The presence of a kosher symbol on the packaging means that a Jewish organization has been given full access to the manufacturing facility and examine the ingredients to ensure that there is nothing unclean in the product. Okay. Each organization has their trademark symbol. If this product has one of these symbols on the packaging, it should be safe for use. Now, as you can see, all of these symbols here are, let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you. Okay, because I want you to see the symbols as we cruising through. This is the stuff that we want to be looking for on the packaging. Now, usually it's the circle with the K in it. It's usually let me see if I can. It's usually, can I highlight any of these? No, I can't. Well, what was that? Okay. It let me do that, but will it let me do anything else? No, it won't. Okay, so usually it's this third one in from the left. It's usually a circle and a K, or it's usually the, where's the other one? Oh, from the bottom, the very bottom, it's the second row from the bottom, third one in. Okay, so those are the ones that I normally see, that I see around. And then there's also, for your dairy, if you use dairy, it's that star with the D in the middle, it looks like. It says kosher dairy. So you want to look at that. Now, now you can download the images by clicking this link right here, right? So the most common symbol by far is the U with the circle around it, okay? And that's, so I've seen the K. So it depends on what part of the country you're in, okay? So there's the U and the K. So they're saying that's the most common one, and the K with the circle and the CRC is also fairly common. If you want to save this graphic, you can right-click and choose Save Image As or Save Picture As. Save it to your hard drive. You can also print it from your web browser by clicking this link. Then hit File, then Print. If you prefer to do the research yourself, here's a list of ingredients to watch for. Ingredients that are always unclean. So listen, it's alpha amylase. The source is hog pancreas. It's used in flour to break down starches. Then there's ambergris, which is whale intestines, and is used for flavoring and also in perfumes. There's carmine or cochineal. That's this little bug, right? It's an insect, a crimson pigment derived from a Mexican species of scale insect, Coccus cacti, used coloring in red applesauce, fruit cocktail, confections, baked goods, meats, and species. Fairly common. So here's the thing, right? That cochineal right there, check this out. When you get your salmon and you get this imitation crab meat and all this stuff, whatever they're using to make that meat pop red, that's the insect they're using. Okay? That's unclean. And this is stuff that we eat every day. They don't tell us this. Did anybody ever tell you this? No one told me. This is how we find out. Okay, so look at this. That's the carmine and the cochineal, right? Then there's the civet, absolute. The source is cats. They get the civet from cats. And they make flavoring for beverages, ice cream, ices, candy, baked goods, and chewing gum. I don't even want to chew gum now. I chew gum. Oh, listen, I chew gum all the time. Okay, Big Red. I'm, not just red, but Big Red, like Michael said. But this is from cats. From here, kitty, kitty, meow. Cats, right? Emu oil, emu. It's used as a dietary supplement. That emu, are you kidding me? Krill oil is a crustacean. It's used as a dietary supplement. Now, ingredients that may be unclean, depending on the source, check with the manufacturer to see what the source is. Okay, now look at this. Acetic acid, okay, its sources plant juices, milk, oil, petroleum. Oil, petroleum, and sometimes mussels, clams, mussels, right? But oil, petroleum, really, oil? They make rubber out of and gasoline out of. This is in your okay. It's the final product of aerobic fermentation, which is from petroleum. It is clean. Okay, I don't care. It comes from petroleum. That's like drinking Vaseline. I don't want to drink. I don't want. Oh no, right? They're saying this may be unclean depending on the source. All right. So albumin, it's blood. Serum, milk, dairy, eggs, right? It's blood. They use a coagulant to a stiffener in baked goods. We're not supposed to be touching the blood. The Most High said the blood is His. We're not supposed to be touching the blood. Okay, so these people, this is a Jewish group that's saying that it may be unclean. The blood is unclean. The life is in the blood. We're not supposed to be messing with that at all. At all. Excuse me. At all. No blood. Okay? So check it out. Calcium stearate, a compound of calcium and stearic acid. Right? Anti-caking ingredient in some spices, especially garlic salt and onion salt. Extensively in tablets. I can get to that. Right? It's a compound of calcium. Right? It's an anti-caking ingredient. I can live with that one. Here's this calcium stearoyl lactate, animal or vegetable mineral. See, you can get with that animal vegetable stuff. Carbon black, possibly synthetic, vegetable, or from animal bones, blood, meat, various fats and oils and resins. Use black. It's the black coloring in confectionery. So if you ever had a cake and they had something on the cake that was black, it probably came from that. Casein from milk and its dairy is used as stabilizer for confectionery. So all of this is in here. Cow liver, animal tissue, here's Christine L form and amino acid. Get it from humans and horse, or it's synthetic. Right? So now you want to be cannibal. You don't know where it's coming from. I wouldn't use it because you don't know where it's coming from. It's very common in breads. It may not be listed in the ingredients, but it could come. It's an amino acid that can come from humans. So where would you get that from? Their plasma or their blood? See, that's why you can't even eat now. You have to look at everything. You know what? I was in the store today earlier, getting my things together, prepping for Shabbat. You know, so all my food is done and everything was done today, so that tomorrow I don't have to cook anything. But I'm gonna start making my own bread again. You know, I mean, every now and then I want to get a croissant, or every now and then I want to get, you know, a donut or whatever. But you can't trust the ingredients. You don't know what's in the flour. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. So I go and I buy spelt flour and teff. You know, which is the grain itself. No preservatives, no additives. It's just the grain that's been ground up. And I come home and I bake bread. I used to bake bread all the time. I used to make bread all the time. And Mama, you know, would come cruising through the kitchen. You know, when she smelled my bread, she'd let me get a piece of that, you know. So I would knock her off a hunk, and she'd, you know, take her a hunk on a little plate and go back to her room and sit down with her juice, and she'd eat the bread. You know, especially when it's fresh out the oven, you know. No yeast, you know, I don't use yeast at all, you know, so when I'm cooking my breads, so, and making my little cakes. So you can't trust anything, you know, and since I've run across this, I'm really more hardcore now. So I said all that to say this, that, I wanted to find the, let me see if I can find the one about the soap. Okay, so here's this one. In addition to, man, in addition to the above, there are some kinds of medicines that are unclean. Here's a list of the most common. Okay, listen to this. This adrenocorticotropin from the pig's pituitary gland, used to treat leukemia and cystic fibrosis, gout, and arthritis. We're not supposed to even be touching the hog, right? It's all up in your medication. Adrenaline from the pig's adrenal gland, right? Let's see what else is in here. This is epinephrine used to treat heart disease from a pig adrenal gland. Heparin, a pig intestinal mucosa for blood clotting. Insulin made from pig's pancreas gland. Insulin. You're diabetic and you're taking insulin. Your insulin comes from a pig's pancreas. They got you injecting hog into you. You think that just because you're not eating bacon and you're not eating ham that you're safe, but you're a diabetic. They got you injecting it into you. This is for thyroid dysfunction. This is taken from a pig's thyroid. Levothyroxine. Mucin, made from a pig's stomach for the treatment of ulcers. Pill capsules, right? More and more popularly made from the gelatin, right? So understand this. Here's what I want you to get, because you might not understand that one. Okay, I have a dietary supplement that I take every day. Okay. What they're saying is that capsule that holds that capsule, that shiny thing that holds that inside of there, that could be made from hog. And I have no way of knowing when I look on the bottle because it doesn't say it. So you have to look. So a lot of times they use these very scientific words on things, and so you have to go back and do the research. I'm trying to see, what does this say? This says turmeric root extract, Boswellia serrata extract, organic sage leaf, organic lemon balm leaf, organic thyme leaf, and piperine from black pepper. Other ingredients: vegetable capsule. Okay, so they're saying that the capsule itself is vegetable. And so I have to look it up because it has a high prom cellulose and rice bran concentrate. So they're saying that the capsule is made from that. So I can be safe in that, knowing that it's not hog. But I wanted to show you. That's why I wanted you to see it. That pill capsules. It says it right there. Pill capsules. Right here. Pill capsules. See that? Pill capsules. More and more popularly made from gelatin. And that's what it is. It's a gelatin. But the monostearates, which holds the powder together, are a common pork derivative. Shiny coated pills are often covered with a thin gelatin coating. Pancreatin from a pig's pancreas, used as a digestive aid for chronic pancreatitis. Pepsin, used for indigestion and stomach coaters. Let's see. Progesterone, extract from pig ovaries for menopausal. So women, you're having menopause and you're flashing all over the place and you're getting hot. They taking this thing from the ovaries of hogs and got you swallowing it. Thyroxine, thyroid preparations made from a pig's thyroid. Okay, now that's just that. Okay, I let me find the one that has the I want to find the one that has the soaps and everything in it. It is. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna take you with me as I go through this. So here it is here, okay? I'm gonna take you with me as I go through this. This is unclean product directory, okay? And if you go www.elaya.com/unclean, you'll come up with this. I have the link. I'm gonna drop it in there, okay? So in this one, if you come across something, you can add it to the directory or you can have it added. So here's animal feeds, cat food, medicines, herbal supplements we're looking at, food products, baby foods, breads, bakeries, manufactured items, personal care products, cosmetics, dentals, whatever. So while I have that up, I'm gonna do this. So because we were going through this, I've always been looking for a toothpaste that would get me off of fluoride. So I got this um, activated charcoal and this fluoride-free toothpaste, and it's made by My Magic Mud. Okay, I don't want it to be shiny. I want you to see it. So let me try. There we go. Activated charcoal, fluoride-free. It's My Magic Mud. You can buy it on Amazon. All right, cleans, brightens, whitens. I don't really care about all of that. Cleans, brightens, whitens, all of that madness. I just want it to be fluoride free. So I want you to see that it doesn't have fluoride free, SLS free, non-GMO. I'm trying to get the focus. No glutens, and it's vegan. Okay, so if a vegan will eat it, then it's got to be pretty safe for us. Looking at this one, I don't see a kosher mark. It's made with coconut oil and bentonite clay and charcoal. And charcoal is a natural bonding agent that helps remove heavy metals from our body. And you know, I don't see any kosher markings on here, or I could just be missing it. But I don't see anything on here that's kosher, but it doesn't have anything in it, especially no hog. Thank you, Ice Cube. So let's go back over here. Oh, so no. And then I went and because of the soaps, okay, I went looking for a black soap, thinking that the black soap would be the safer. So I bought this 4-pack off of Amazon, and then I found out after the fact that so I have to go digging into this soap to see what the real ingredient is. Could be vegetable, but the animal tallow, the fat that they use in our soaps to bind it, hold it together, that gelatin, whatever, it comes from hog. So that's what we're going to look at. And let me see. I'm going to take a look at this. See if it says anything on the bar. Ingredients: palm kernel oil, cocoa pod ash, palm bunch ash, shea butter, water, pure honey, lime juice, osan, which is camwood, aloe vera, lemon juice, and fragrance. So it says now it's the ash that makes it black. Rabbi just did a teaching on soaps and things like that. That's how I found out about this page. And then I went digging around in the page and found other stuff. So it's the age-long African black soap made in the traditional way by hand from pure natural ingredients and herbs from the tropical rainforests of savanna regions. No artificial colors, no preservatives, and it's biodegradable. So that's why I went for this soap here. Smells pretty good too. It's so fragrant it lights up the whole bathroom. So I like that. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's see if we can get into this and go for it. So food products. Let's take a look. Okay. So Pepperidge Farms, Campbell Soup Company has a lot of pork, right? The pirouettes, the cookies, the unclean ingredients, they vary, right? Armor lunch makers, the nachos fun kit, that carmine color comes from the cochineal, that little bug I told you that puts the red and everything. So the meat surimi, unknown, is pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, shellfish, that all that stuff, glutenase, right? Pork. And then your food flavoring, we don't know what that is, but let's see if we can take a look and see what the food flavoring is. Right, the food flavoring, unclean animal found in ingredient, food flavor. Let's see if we can find out what. Okay, so the production description, the vanilla flavor. Now that vanilla comes from badger booties. That's Oh, that's something else. That is something else. Product description: name, vanilla flavor, type of flavor, daily. It's a daily flavor, sweet flavor, synthetic essence. The color is white, pure. The odor strong, vanilla aroma. Powder or liquid. From Shandong, China. Hedu OEM. OEM is original equipment manufacturer. It's food grade. You can find it in ice cream, beverages, candies, nuts. Recommended dosage. Choose the best quantity to test. Da 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 da. Okay, Hedu Food. There's a website there, but there's that flavoring. I can tell you when you go back to, especially for vanilla fat flavoring, you can trace that back to Badgers. Let's see, meats, dairy, poultry, frozen food. All of it is all here. I want to look at. Let me go back one. Let's go to personal care items. Okay, Unilever, Noxzema, pork. Okay, so you're using Unilever. Here's soaps. Let's look at soaps. Dial bar soap. It's tallow, animal fat. They call it tallow, but they don't tell you that it's pig. Okay, Dial body wash and hand soaps. The glycerin is hog. Lysol bathroom hand soaps is pig. Procter & Gamble ivory soap, pork. Procter & Gamble is pork. Unilever bar soap made from animal fat including pork. That's Caress, right? Sodium tallowate glycerin, animal fat including pork. That's Lever 2000. Naturally, it's clean. Cochineal is the bug. You use that on your floors, right? And you're spreading this cochineal, that bug, all over your floors. Neutrogena, those of you who clean your faces, you're taking your makeup off, ladies. Deep Clean Cream Cleanser, is the gelatin is pork. Neutrogena. Dove, it says it's not specific, it's glycerin. Okay, we don't know that. Look, here's Purex, right? Fells and naphtha, sodium tallowate, Purex. Right, some of us are washing our clothes with Purex. That's pork. The Vijon company, the Germex hand sanitizer. Germex, y'all. Germex. Everybody uses Germex. It's pig. Clorox company, the mold and mildew remover. We don't know what that is. Johnson & Johnson says it's unknown. Cumberland Swan, pork or beef. The anti-itch lotion. So I don't see them. This is off mosquito spray. I don't see them using off to get rid of mosquitoes with pigs. I don't see that. But there's that. Okay, so now look, let's go back. That's the soap. That's the soap. I'm just want to show you, family, that there's so much hog that they're using on us. I was looking at a newspaper article. I was telling someone earlier today that it wasn't a newspaper article. What it was how you get the sales sheet and it tells you everything that's on sale in the store that week, right? Well, I was looking at the sheet and I was kind of flabbergasted and mad. I'm like, I'm looking for turkey and chicken and things like that, and it's like every page you turn, there was pork roast, pork shoulder blades, pork rump, pork this, pork that, pork hot dogs, pork sausages, and I'm like, are you kidding me? The whole page was pork and there was one chicken, and then the next page, the whole page was pork and then there was a fish, some salmon. And then I used to like rock cod. I had never seen one like in the face, but a rock cod looks like a catfish, right? And we're not supposed to eat fish unless it has scales and fins, right? When you go into the store and you see the fillet, you don't know what it is. You just grab the fish. We have to be paying attention to things like that because we're supposed to know what it is that we're eating. Okay, so I looked at a rock cod, and the rock cod was slick and shiny with a big old fat head, had fins but no scales. I'm like, oh, I can't eat him. And I used to eat rock cod all the time. Back in the day, I used to eat rock cod all the time. Never had sturgeon. I helped my friend catch a sturgeon, but I never had sturgeon. That prehistoric looking fish, I never had it. Used to eat catfish all the time. And I would catch trout and black bass and things like that. So I would still get fish, but I was just eating fish. I wasn't separating them out, like I am now. So being able to tell what is and how to go about separating it out, because we're supposed to be holy and set apart, sanctified. I hear people talking, I'm sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. You're not set apart. You filled with something, but it's not. It might be really a ghost and not the Ruach HaKodesh. You might really be filled with something, because most of the time you get one of them mad and see how far they go, and you'll say, yeah, there's a spirit in there, but it's not, and it is a ghost, but it's not a holy one. So these little catchwords and phrases that people be throwing around, you got to pay attention to that as well. So let's see, where are we? I am going to let me throw this over here real fast, and then we're going to get moving. So that's personal care products, right? Let's look over here real quick. ShopRite antiseptic mouth rinse, citrus, got cochineal extract in it. Wow. Let's go over here. Ooh, look. Some of you ladies, Burt's Bees, the lip shimmer, has cochineal beetle in it. The replenishing lip balm has cochineal in it. Human aborted are you what? Human aborted? Oh, you see this? Human abort. Okay. Biogel, Previderm, Journey, Bioserum Lumiere, Biorestorative Skincare. Uses aborted male baby cells after a 14-week gestation period in their unclean animal found in ingredient. Human aborted babies. Here's a news article. Major food corporations use flavoring agents laced with tissues from aborted babies. Pepsi does that. I'm serious. Pepsi does that. When you're drinking Pepsi, you're drinking stem cells from aborted babies. Can't make this stuff up. You can, here's the link. You can copy this link and go look for yourself. This is crazy. This is crazy. So what I'm saying to you, family, is this. We have to be clean, right? We have to be clean. Something's going on here with my earpiece. I can feel it weird on my head. Hold on. So, there we go. Got a better fit. So, we have to be clean. Messiah's coming for us. And, we can't be... Okay, so I was reading Tobit, right? And Tobit was going around burying people. Well, when you touch a carcass, then you're unclean. You have to go wash yourself, wash your clothes, and you're unclean until you're unclean. Right? So we can't be unclean. We have to watch everything. I now want to start making my own clothes. I mean, it's this deep. I have to start growing my own food, because you can't trust this. You just can't. Because in the slightest little way, I don't want to take the chance of the Messiah pushing me to the side. Okay, so you say, well, he's gonna forgive all my faults. He knows my heart. Okay. Does that work with your natural earthly daddy? Daddy, you know my heart. No. The belt's still coming off. You're still going to the bedroom, because you should have known better. Daddy don't care about knowing your heart. And the cold part about this is that the scriptures translate the heart as the mind. That means you knew, and you were supposed to know, because this knows nothing. All it does is pump blood. I know your phone number by heart. Your heart knows nothing. Your mind does. The Greek is very specific, right? But we in the daughter of Babylon have gotten so used to using catchphrases and bywords and metaphors and soliloquies and everything except the real thing. We talk around stuff. We've been taught to talk around stuff. And the reason why the lady said to me, I get so much from just listening to you and following you, because as I'm discovering this, I'm open enough to tell people. I was asked today, why you can't work on Friday? Well, can you work on Saturday? And I'm like, well, I know. Why can't you work on Friday? This is one of the managers. Why can't you work on Friday? You got to see the paper. Look at the paper. She has the paper. And she's it's according to the moons. She piped right up. It's according to the moons. His off days are according to the moons. He's in real time. And I said to myself, look at her. See, I was thinking for a way to say it that they would understand. And she said, just keep it simple. We understand simple. Just say it's according to the moons. I'm like, okay, thank you. It's according to the moons. It's just that simple. It's according to the moons. You see, because we're on a solar lunar calendar, right? We're not just on a completely solar calendar or completely lunar calendar. We're on a solar lunar calendar. So we have solar eclipses and lunar eclipses. We're on a solar lunar calendar. We just had a solar eclipse, a few weeks back, a month back. Oh, excuse me. So, so we're on that solar lunar calendar, right? And so I was trying to explain the paper, the Moedim, which I showed you earlier, that does the breakdown on the days of the new moon, right? But then, trying to figure out a way to keep that simple, and she said it for me. It's according to the moon. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to use that. I was like thinking to myself, well, thank you, Most High. And she's paying attention. She's paying attention. She's watching. So you have to, you never know who's watching you. That's why we have to walk so circumspectly, because you never know who's watching you. I don't flash on people. I don't fly off the handle. I start singing and walk away. Manager was going off on me early one morning. I turned around and started walking away. She was like, wait, don't walk away from me. I threw my hand in the air like this and kept on strolling. Because you see, I'm not going to get into a confrontation with you. That's what you want. You want a confrontation. I'm not going to, we're not doing it. No. I turned the corner and I started praying. Father, that's your child. You deal with that. Right? I'm in here. I'm trying to have peace. I'm at work. I'm already on the plantation. These people are not going to stress me out. I'm not doing it. You handle that. When she saw me again, she was a whole different kitty. She was purring and everything. I was like, oh, okay. Thank you, Father. Thank you. And that's how we have to be. We cannot be unclean in this. We have to let things roll off of us in such a way that we keep ourselves clean. Okay? And that's where we're going right now. We got to keep ourselves clean. Okay? I don't know why this thing is messing with my ear tonight. It hasn't been doing that all day, and now tonight it just wants to be the one that doesn't want to sit in the pocket. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So let me get off of this and let's get over here. Okay, so as we move through this thing, this is where we got to be. Okay, and so I'm looking at this, and we have to walk in love. Now, this love that we have to walk in, it's the same love that the Mashiach walked in. Now, he was in love even when he was chastising them. He was in love while he was chastising them. So when the Sadducees and the Pharisees were all up in his face about stuff, right, he was still operating in love, because had his anger arisen, they could have been smoked like that. And since he had to be a particular individual and operate in love, this whole time, because see, now is the time for love. There won't be love when he returns again. It'll be wrath at that point. This is love, and it took everything in order for him not to call down a whole host of angels and fix it right now. He had to operate in this love. And so, be therefore followers as dear children. Let's look at it this way. Be therefore followers of Elohim as dear children. Right now, Yeshua said, unless you have the mind of a child, unless you come to this like a child, you won't see the kingdom of heaven. So be ye therefore followers as dear children of Elohim, of Yahuwah. We have to be followers of the Most High. We have to be followers as children, right? And walk in love as Mashiach also has loved us and gave himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet smelling Savior. Okay, so we see that this was just spoken of. I heard this being spoken of also. People say, oh, spirits can't smell. Well, yeah, remember Tobit had to light the fire with the heart and the kidney and put it in the ash, and then the spirit smelled it and ran away, and then the angel that was with Tobit's son Tobias ran off and bound him in the upper coast of Egypt, so they can smell. So when there's a sacrifice going up, that's what the Father said. It's a sweet smelling savor to me. He can smell it. Okay, so 3. But fornication and all uncleanness. Now, I've heard people say this, and uncleanliness. No, it's not uncleanliness. It's uncleanness. Or covetousness. Not covetousness. It's covet, right? Covetousness. Let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Nor filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this you know, that no whoremonger, no unclean person, see, unclean. It's letting you know. It's identifying it right here. No whoremonger, no unclean person. We're going to go through each one of these. No covetous man who is an idolater has any inheritance in the kingdom of Mashiach and of Elohim. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things came the wrath of Elohim upon the children of disobedience. Did it come upon the world? No, it came upon the children of disobedience. Who are the children? Israel. And what happened? The Father's wrath dropped on them because they were doing these things. That's why he's saying, let it not once be named among you. Not the world, you. You. Let it not be once named among you as becometh saints. The saints aren't in the world. The saints are in the house of Israel. The world, he doesn't care about the world. There's spittle. They're the little drops that come from your lip when you're talking. Get burnt up in the fire like that. He doesn't care about them. He cares about his chosen, Israel. He gave the rest of the nations to the other gods. He says, I'm going to be theirs. They're going to be mine. Them other gods can have those out there. I got these. These are mine. That's who he cares about. That's what this is about. To the Hebrews who were scattered at Ephesus. That's who he's talking to. Go back to the first book and read the greeting. He's talking to the Hebrews who are at Ephesus. He's not talking to the world. He gave himself for us who became saints. The world is not going to become saints. Only Israel has the kings and the priests. Read the scriptures and understand. 6. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of Elohim upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. With who? Them, the world. Don't partake with them. You got to stay over here and be saints. For you were sometimes in darkness, but now you are light in Adonai. Walk as children of light. For the fruit of the Ruach is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto Adonai, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it's a shame to even speak of those things which are done in secret, because they go behind closed doors when they do their dirt. Man on man, woman on woman, they go behind closed doors. They're not out in the open with their madness yet. Used to be a time when if you were, if you had some effeminate tendencies, you kept that to yourself. That wasn't all out in public. They were not coming out like Diana Ross and like everybody else, right? So it says in 13. In 13, let me get back over here. In 13, but all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doth make manifest is light. So if I'm going to let it be known, I got to shine the spotlight. I don't have a spotlight. I got to shine the spotlight on it if I'm going to let it be known. Because it can't be known unless I identify it by putting the light on it. You walk around in a dark room, how are you going to see where you are unless you put the light on it? You got to put the light on it. So it says all those things that are reproved, the stuff that we're saying is wrong, we're identifying it by the light of the word, right? So in other words, it can't be identified unless you put the light of the word on it, right? Wherefore he said, arise and shine, for light is come, and the glory of Yahuwah is risen upon thee. So then that you walk, see then, in 15, that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, for the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of Elohim is. And be not drunk with wine, whereas in excess. He's not saying you cannot drink wine. He said don't be drunk with wine. Because to be drunk, you drank too much. Now you're drunk. That's excess. See? So you can have yourself a couple of glasses. There's nothing wrong with you getting a little buzz. He's saying being drunk. Drunk with wine. To be drunk, passed out on the floor, drunk, to be drunk is excess. You drinking too much. Now, what if the Mashiach was to come right then and you're drunk? You're not going to know he came. You're going to miss the boat. You're going to miss everything. Because when you wake up, it'll be over. Now's the time to be sober minded so that you don't miss anything. Right? He's saying, be not drunk, redeeming the time, because today walk circumspectly, not as fools, but be wise. You got to be wise about this. Don't be drunk with wine. That's excess. Be filled with the Spirit. 19, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and make melody in your heart to Jehovah. Hallelujah. That's what I do. I have songs that I write and songs that I sing that I keep, in an ear. Keeps me stable, keeps me level. Because you might say the wrong thing to me, and when my flesh rise up, I'm going to flash on you. I don't want to flash on you. I don't want to flash on anybody. But if I flash on you, it's because, my flesh stood up. And I have to keep flesh down. It's my responsibility is to keep that flesh down. So I have to figure out how to handle that flesh because it wants to do things, right? Paul says, I battle this thing daily. Makes me do the things I don't want to do. Makes me say the stuff I don't want to say. I battle it daily. So that's why I keep my songs in my ear. And the main one that I listen to now that I wrote is called Teach Me to Pray. Teach Us to Pray. Because it keeps me in worship all day long. Just by having it running in my head. All right. 20, giving thanks always for all things unto Elohim, that the Father, in the name of our Adonai, Yehoshua HaMashiach, Yeshua HaMashiach, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Elohim. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto Adonai. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there right now because what I want to do is break wide into some of the things that we were talking about, right? So that we can go into those because that is most necessary for us to look at. And since I want to look at that, let's see, where are we? Here we go. We're going to get over here into these. And here we are right here. Okay. So let's look at some of these things that make us unclean. I don't know. Can you see that? Maybe I can make it a little bigger. Okay. All right. So I think that's big enough. You'll be able to see that. All right. So we're looking at, these are a lot of Greek words for Hebraic situations, because they didn't have their scriptures in Hebrew. And as they were living among the nations and they were speaking Greek, they put their scriptures into Greek. This first one is fornication, and it's porneia, harlotry, including adultery and incest. Figuratively, idolatry, fornication. Now look, a harlot is a female prostitute, and a fornicator is a male prostitute. You'll see that in a moment. Harlotry is a female, including adultery. So that's a married woman having sex with another man. That's adultery. When we go out of our way to go and worship other gods, that's spiritual idolatry. That's harlotry. That's what the Father is saying. Wait a minute. So you leave your Hebraic way and you start doing the Roman Catholic Christianity. That's spiritual adultery. That's harlotry. You're whoring after another god. You go to Baha'i faith, you go to Rosicrucian, you go, Mormon, you go, whatever you go. If you break away from your Hebraic side and go after that, now you're whoring after other gods. That's what the scriptures say. That's what you're doing. You're whoring after other gods. Now you can't get mad at me. I didn't write the book. I'm just showing it to you. Okay. So harlotry. There it is. Harlotry. Porneia. Fornication. The next one is architharsia. Uncleanness. Impurity. It's the quality of the cleanliness. Physically and morally unclean. So this is not cleanliness, this is uncleanness, right? Then we have plexoria, plexon exia, right? Is covetousness, avarice. That is by implication fraudulency, extortion, right? We're not supposed to charge taxes because that's usury. The Rebbe was saying, that the taxing people was usury, right? Putting extra money on it. That's extortion. That's greediness. These are the Greek words. You can look them up. These are the numbers. You got a Strong's Concordance, pull them out. That's what I did. Avarice. This is covetousness. The next one, ahiskatros, right? This is filthiness, shamefulness. This is obscenities. Okay, shameful obscenities. The next one is moralagia. Okay, this is foolish talking, silly talk, buffoonery. Silly talk, buffoonery. People shucking and jiving and never being serious ever. That silly talk. That's foolish talking. That's what the scripture is saying. The next one is eutrapelia. This is jesting. It's a witticism. That is, in a vulgar sense, ribaldry, right? So every comedian that you know that uses vulgarities, because it's a witticism. You're being witty. That's making people laugh, but you're being nasty about it. And I can count all the comedians. I've seen a ton of these comedians, and the stuff is funny. It really is. It's funny. It's a witticism. It's funny. But we're not supposed to be partaking in this foolish talking and jesting. So I was watching Sinbad the other night, and Sinbad had me dying. Never, not one curse word, not one vulgar thing, nothing. Clean. It was clean. Now, I don't know if that's Sinbad's way, if that's the way he gets down all the time, but he had me dying. I was sitting right there dying. It was clean. And I was really impressed. You know, I got up, my stomach was hurting, my eyes was watering. I was like, man, he was killing it. He didn't say not one curse word. Not one. And I was sitting there dying. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, Cosby had a way about him doing the same thing, but look what happened. In the end, it's not what you know, like the Mashiach said, it's not what goes in a man, it's what comes out of him that makes him unclean. Right? So Cosby had this way of giving you comedy that was kid friendly, but his life was in shambles behind the scenes. So now we have pornos, and this is where we get pornography from, right? Whoremonger, a male prostitute. Okay, now we're going to get deeper. A whoremonger is a male prostitute that is, by analogy, a debauchee, libertine, a fornicator, a whoremonger. I told you, a male prostitute is a fornicator. Fornication and a fornicator is two different things. A harlot is a female, a fornicator is a male. A harlot is a female prostitute, a fornicator is a male prostitute. He's a whoremonger. It says it right there. He's a male prostitute. I've been knowing that for years. Anybody else been knowing this for years? I found that out in like 82, 83. Some of you probably not even that old. You might have been born after that. Here's an unclean person. A catharos. Impure, ceremonially, morally lewd, specifically demonic, foul, unclean. So back in the day, if they said you were unclean, that means you had a demon, which would make you unclean. You couldn't go into the synagogue that way, right? Here is a covetous man, holding, desiring more, that is, eager for gain, avaricious, hence a defrauder. He's covetous, avaricious, eager for gain is avaricious. Can't wait to beat somebody out of something. Now, got me a mark over here, dog. I'm about to take him off. That's your covetous man right there. And we got a lot of that in Israel, right? Why? Right? Here's an idolater. Idolater, an image or servant or worshiper, literally or figuratively an idolater. We got St. Mary, St. Jude, St. John, all of these lining the walls of the Catholic Church, and you got a prayer for every one of them. That's idolatry. You got a little fat Buddha sitting there with his hands like this, and usually you putting food and flowers and candles in front of a little fat Buddha. That's idolatry. We got a lot of this in Israel. Idol can be anything. Your car can be your idol. You worship your car. I mean, that can be your idol. So, you know, we got to be clean. We got to pay attention to the stuff that's going on around us, the things that we're eating, the stuff we're putting on our bodies. That's got pig in it. Just about everything got hog in it. We really have to break away. Messiah could come tomorrow, y'all, and a lot of us are not going to make it. You know, some of us are going to make it, but we're going to get the most outrageous spanking we ever had in our lives. If he came tomorrow, I'd be in trouble. I'm not going to lie. And a whole bunch of you would be in trouble too. You shouldn't lie. None of us out here have it all together. If one person claimed they got it all together and they know it all, I'm getting the hell away from that one. I don't want to be nowhere near when the sparks start to fly. Because all of us are trying to learn. Some people know more than others is true. But they don't have it all together just because they know more than you. I don't care how big their teaching platform is. I don't care how many thousands of people they claim they've taught. It doesn't matter. I can guarantee you there's sin in that person's life. Nobody on this planet is walking around completely sinless. There's only one person that ever did it. He's gone and he's coming back. So no one is completely sinless. Everybody has sin in this sinful world. The difference is that we have Yeshua Messiah, our Hamashiach, that we can go to and we can lay our crap at his feet and ask him to forgive us as we repent of this thing and that thing and this thing and that. Turn around and don't go back to it. He says, go and sin no more. Repent, go and sin no more. So I might not do that thing anymore, but you can best believe there's going to be something else that I'm going to end up doing that I'm going to have to repent for. Nobody is getting out of here clean. And when we do get out of here clean, it'll be because of his blood, not anything that we've done. But this is showing him that we're trying. Now, I realize that my soaps have pig in them. I'm not supposed to stay away from the hog. And this is my thing. I was like, Father, look how trapped. We're trapped. How do we get out? If you don't come, man, we could be lost. As soon as you come, we could all be lost. Especially because there's some people who are going to listen to what I'm saying, and they're going to be like ho-hum about it. And that's the problem with Israel. That's why he said we were stiff-necked. Because we were ho-hum about his law, statutes, and commandments. Some of us are really trying. Some of us are really, really giving it a shot. I didn't grow up in this. I was raised in churchianity in this daughter of Babylon. Now that I know who I am, I'm breaking away from all of that and dropping the chains. But I still don't know everything. But I'm trying. And I'm giving it my best shot. So when he comes and he shows up on me, he sees me down here working hard, trying to give it my best shot. He knows I don't know everything. But what he loves is the fact that he sees me out here getting dirty in the dirt, tilling this field and tilling this soil for him, trying to get these grapevines to grow. And so that's what I got for you, Mishpachah. That's what I got for you. Hey, look. Well, thank you all for hanging out with me. It's been great. I don't have any more that I'm gonna share with you, but I really wish that you take everything I said to heart and you go look some of this stuff up for yourself. Okay, Mishpachah, have a blessed evening. We'll see you on this road to Zion, maybe tomorrow.